Growing up with all my dad's boats, we'd go to places. We'd go on trips to the Connecticut River, Hudson River. We'd be out on the Sound. We'd go up to Cape Cod, and we'd go to many, many different places. And I never had to worry about if the engine run or does it have oil or any of that stuff, because my dad did it. He worked, he did all the work on his boats, and he was always down there in the engine doing something. And if he belonged to the yacht club, and he belonged to the power squadron. He even taught power squadron courses. So he had a lot of boating friends, they'd all get together and have a great time. So if he came across something he had trouble with the engine, he'd just call one of his buddies, and they'd come over and help each other out. And they always helped each other. So he never had to take the boat to a marina to get repaired or anything like that. And I didn't have to do any of that. I had the fun part. I was water skiing, and I did have to, when we got done each day, I had to help clean wash off the boat with clear water and scrub the decks and roll up the ropes. He was a Navy man, and he wanted his ropes perfectly coiled and fenders tied on right, so I learned a lot from him as far as that goes, but I never had to worry about the mechanical part of it. So when I got this boat, I joined all these different groups and forums, and there's the Sea Ray Club, and then there's a club I belong to that everybody has the exact same boat I have. I belong to a 12-volt group, a solar group, all kinds of groups where if I have a question, I can ask them, and sometimes I get all kinds of different answers, but I learned, they've helped me out a lot with different things I didn't know about, so it's been a real continuing learning experience. By the time I get done with you, you know all about boats. But he had his last two boats were inboards. His last one had two inboards. So mine is an inboard outboard, the big engine parts inside, and the outdrive they call it, stern drive. That's where the propeller is. That part is on the outside. So I learned to check the steering. This is power steering, and if power steering goes on a boat, you go nowhere. I mean, you just cannot turn. You're just stuck. So before I ever go out, I check the power steering. There's a gear lube container that lubes the gears. I check that. Gotta check the oil. Gotta check the coolant. There's trim tabs. Those are two metal flaps on the back of the boat that you can there's a switch to make them go up or down, and that helps the boat plane off when you're taking off, so it's not like the back end down, the front end up. They help plane the boat off. Well, there's a fluid for that, and then the stern drive, you can make it go up or down, and there's fluid for that. So it's a lot of things I had to learn as far as, checking and make sure it's got fluid and working okay. And a lot of that I learned in these groups I'm in, which is a 1990, has the original engine in it. And I was so excited because it only has 800 hours on it, which is very low hours for an engine. but what I learned is that is not necessarily a good thing. In a lot of ways it is good, but it's like, I compare it to when I worked at Dillard's. It's a story. You know, you buy a pair of shoes, brand new shoes, and you put them in your closet, and you don't wear them for 5 years, and you take them out expecting to have, you know, these brand new shoes to wear, and they dry rotted in your closet. And that's kind of like an engine. It's not good if you use it too much, and it's not good if you don't use it too much, you know. Things can go bad from not using it. So, but the guy I bought it from, he had, you know, the receipt showing me that he put in a brand new, rebuilt carburetor. It had new alternator, it had new spark plugs, all the different things that he had done on it. He gave me all the receipts, so I saw that a lot of the main things, you know, had been replaced. And so I thought, you know, this is great. You know, it doesn't have many miles, and looks like he's kept it up, replacing this, replacing that. So there was a power steering leak he had fixed, and a trim tab leak he had fixed. So it looked like he'd done quite a bit to, you know, keep the boat good. So I was happy about that. What I'm working on now is solar power, and because too many times, the anchoring out, you know, I have to have an anchor light on every night. It's a requirement, and of course that runs on the battery. So if I anchor out for 7 days, I have a dead battery between the light and the bilges if they run. So I had to make sure that I didn't stay here 7 days without moving. So that's why, you know, once a week I'd go out running around with the grandkids, you know, to charge up the batteries. But at the moment I'm stuck with the engine's not working. I'll tell you the story on that later. But anyway, I'm here anchored out and the engine don't work, and I can't go out and charge the batteries. So at first they all went dead from the anchor light and the bilge. And when it rained, I told you it was coming into windows and filling up that cabin. So I had to pay a guy to come out, get all 4 batteries. They're 65 pounds each, you know, they're not light. And he had to take them to his house, charge them up, and then he had to bring them back. And I went out, and my brother and sister-in-law came to rescue again. They found these little solar lanterns, well, lamps like this one hanging right there. It's solar. And it's got a really bright light at night. And it even has a low, it has a high, and it even like a flashing like a SOS light on it. And I had to go out and buy another one. It's up there up there. That's what I use for the anchor light right now, so the batteries don't go dead. And I had to buy 2 because it takes like 2 days for it to fully charge in the sun, for it to go all night. If I don't fully charge it, you know, about 2 o'clock in the morning, the thing turns off. So I got a second one, and I alternate them each night. And that way the light's on all night long, and I don't have to worry about the batteries going dead. But they've gone dead a couple of times, and my son had to just a couple of weeks ago. He had to come out here, and it was because of the rain coming in and the bilge just running and running and running. So he came out. We put the batteries in the dinghy, and he had to lug them up to the 3rd floor of his condominium and bring them back. And I did buy a charger finally, since the one that I had got wrecked in the bilge. So he has the charger at his house, but next time I'll probably do it at my daughter's house so he doesn't have to carry these things up 3 flights of stairs. But hopefully that won't happen again, because my brother and his wife down in the Keys, they sent me 2 100-watt solar panels. You saw me carrying one the other day trying to bring it out to the boat. And my son's going to install them on the top front of the deck. And what they will do is they will keep the batteries charged, even if I use the anchor lights. And I can also charge my cell phone, and I might even be able to run the refrigerator. I plan on hopefully little by little adding on, because I can just keep putting on solar panels all over the place. There's plenty of room for them. And the boat has what's called an inverter. Well, there's a converter and an inverter. A converter is what you use when you're like on a marina and you use the power cord. That makes all your electric stuff work on shore. An inverter lets like the refrigerator run if I'm out for a day. You know, you put the inverter on, the refrigerator will run. But it's only for short term. You know, if I went out for a weekend, the battery would be dead from just the refrigerator without solar panels, you know. It's a big 2,000 watt inverter. It's a big one. So I can hook up, you know, crock pot and different things to use if I have enough solar panels hooked up to keep the batteries charged. And the group I'm in with the solar group, I mean, some of these sailboats, I mean, they got solar panels all over the place. And they don't ever, I mean, they cook, they can use anything on the boat because their batteries are always charged. And that's my goal here, is to be able to use all this stuff, you know, by solar power. Of course, you got, you know, cloudy days and rainy days. So they have different things they do, so that, like, one guy says he runs his refrigerator, but he turns it off every night, and then every morning he turns it back on, because at night there's no sun out. So I'm learning all about solar power, and getting ready to get hooked up to 2 panels that'll at least keep my batteries from going dead, and I can use the anchor light and maybe the refrigerator. I could, you know, charge my cell phone. I mean, there's a nice TV in here and a DVD. I'll have to see, you know, how it does keeping up the batteries as far as how much I can use. And it might have to wait, you know, till I get, you know, more panels. Oh, some people have, you know, 500 watts on the boats. I saw one guy, he had like 2,500 watts of solar panel. So there's all different things you can do with solar. So that's what I'm working on, is solar power.